First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Joyce Rebello. I'm from Brazil, and my work will be about the origin of European Union. The European Union was created in 1992 after the end of the World War II, and it is an economic and political unit that it has 27 independent member states located mainly in Europe, with the goal of establishing economic and political cooperation between European countries. Talking about the euro, okay, after a decade of preparation, the euro was launched in 1999. For the first 3 years, it was invisible currency, used only for account purpose and for electronic payments. The entry into circulation of euro like no and coins and banknotes, it was in 2002. In just 12 uh, European Union countries was the biggest currency change ever. As you know, we don't have any other like countries or I can I say continents that have just one currency, just in Europe, right? And the European Union is one of the main players in the world trade, as you can see on the chart beside, being the second largest exporter and importer of goods in the world, just losing only by China in exports and the United States in imports. A serious financial crisis shakes the world economy. The problem started with the mortgage laws in the United States. The banks made the high risk loan for people to buy real estate without assessing whether they were able to pay back the money and investors around the world. 2 years later, the crisis hit the European Union. That was a huge public debt caused by excessive spending with expenses greater than revenues and without the proper backing of reverse. The main Europe countries affected were Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. And what's the consequence about this crisis? The consequence of this economic it was economic disaster that put capitalism in check, was mass unemployment, international finance retraction, mainly in Europe. As a result, there was an increase in an external public debt due to the need for loans from the International Monetary Fund. Okay, let's talk about Germany now. Germany is a member of the European Union since 1995, a member of the Europe area since 1999. It is the fourth largest economy in the world and it's recognized as the most powerful and influential country in the European Union. German industry is highly developed due to the technology used and production efficient. And we know actually everybody knows Germany is well known for its car production. But let's go check about comparative advantages. What comparative advantage? Ricardo's comparative advantage theory explains difference in production and trade between two different countries or nations based on the same product. To understand better, let me give you an example. Let's go compare Brazil and Germany in production of soybean and car. Brazil would dedicate all available resource and would be able to produce 30 units of soybean in a single year. Everybody knows how Brazil have its good export in soybean. Under the same condition, the country was dedicated to production of cars will be only be possible for to produce 10 units in the same year. Okay, it's 1 year. 1 year Brazil can produce 30 units of soybean, and the same year he can produce just 10 units of car. However, Germany would dedicate all available resource and would be able to produce 10 units of car in a single year under the same condition. The country dedicated itself to production of soybeans would be only possible 10 units of this good. Brazil has a comparative advantage in relation to Germany in soybean production. On the other hand, Germany has a comparative advantage in relation to Brazil in car production. In this PowerPoint, we're going to talk about unemployment. But first I'm going to talk about Europe and employment, then after Germany, okay? Europe, biggest economy, was close to full employment before coronavirus. Since then, the number of people out of the labor market has been growing. But before the pandemic, job losses also happened when the entry of new technology into the means of production, that which is called structural unemployment. And another reason for have some and growing the employment, it was when the immigration of companies to another countries or continents that was happening in Europe. But let's go analyze the chart beside this chart is talking about unemployment in Germany. Analyze the chart, we can see the unemployment rate between 2017 and 2021. In 2017, the unemployment level was high and then it was decreasing. But unfortunately, like all other countries, Germans suffer from the pandemic with unemployment in increasing again. But however, it believes from the date that unemployment will be stabilizing again. And happening all the in the other countries and have happen in Germany as well. In this PowerPoint, we're going to talk about the future of the European Union, economy, employment, and education. The European Commission presents a strategy to improve the economic and financial system. They want to make the euro stronger than before. They want to continue to develop the financial structures on European Union in the market and strengthen their resilience. Actually, uh, one important point we cannot forget is about financial support. It seems urgently needed to get the economic back on the track to protect all Europeans, keep business afloat, and support those most need in many parts of the unit. We know Germany and France, they are very power, yes, and actually Germany and France will provide this financial assistance and will assume the task of advancing the idea of preparing a plan for economic recovery and construction in in that area. Uh, what's gonna happen? I think Germany and France will help about with financial and will help about productivity, education, health, and employment since they are very strong, they are very powerful. And finally, the European Union have one of the most advanced economies in the world. Will have, I think, if all these stuffs happen, have the euro get stronger. The Germany and French helps with financial, helps with economy, helps with education, health, and employment. Uh, I think more country actually if you have more country making part of the single currency because now we have 13 countries. Maybe in the future, other countries will enjoy and give straight of this concrete symbol of union, that is the euro. I think all these stuffs happen for sure. The economies, actually, the Europe Union will have a leading role in the world economy. They will have more powerful, have all the power in his hands. In this last PowerPoint, I'm going to conclude my work. The European Union is a result of the great integration process in Europe and its beginning after World War II. The single currency was implemented in the late 90s, and the euro placed countries with different social and economic structures under the same currency. The countries of the European Union are really moving towards with some ideas such as control their debts. They want to fight with the financial economy. And the single monetary policy made some countries like Germany and France stand out among other countries. Germany is growing stronger economically in terms of industrialization. We know that Germany is very famous for her car production. Uh, since Europe Union has gone through several crises at the beginning in the Second War, then after 2007, 2008, and now with the pandemic coronavirus, we can see so far that European Union has managed so well. For all these reasons that realize that we saw in this work, we can predict that European Union will be um, will be lead the world economy and technological and industrial advancement.